Hey everyone, I'm here with the one and only Craig.
That's me. Hi.
If somebody knows Miami, that's him. That's why I want to ask you a question. Hi, Craig.
How are you?
Doing great.
Great. Thank you for being here today. No,
thank you so much.
And I do know a thing or two about Miami.
Yeah, you know a little. So we find that out.
A thing or two.
My question to you is: a lot of people, when you call the clients, they're always waiting for Miami to crash. The market is going to crash, and then they're waiting for that to buy. So what can you tell those people?
I'm going to quote my partner, George Perez. He's my partner from the Related Group. We're partners in a company called Related ISG. And recently, he was interviewed by CNBC along with his two sons. And he talked about his experience in Miami.
Okay.
And he said for 50 years, it's been kind of a roller coaster. Because it is true that Miami developers tend to overbuild when the market gets good. And then they have to slow down for a little bit for the market to absorb all that inventory.
Exactly.
But here's what George said, which is so true. I'm here 32 years and I've experienced, not 50, but that's enough, 30. So we're on a roller coaster. So then we hit the bottom of the roller coaster, and when you hit the bottom, it starts to go back up again. And going back up again has already started. But his point is, once we start going up, all values, low end, middle, high end, all values reset at a much higher level than the height of the previous cycle.
Exactly.
We don't build enough, so there's that. And number two, we simply cannot build enough housing to keep up with the population accelerating.
Exactly.
We are the second fastest growing state in the United States.
Wow.
And last year we've been averaging like 1,000 people a day. You probably heard this stat from everybody. We grow by 1,000 people a day. Yeah, that's true until last year. Last year you grew by 1,300 people a day.
It's amazing.
It's accelerating. Yeah. And we don't have enough real estate to keep the rain off of people's heads.
We don't have
so
enough room.
Now those that are the naysayers, the ones that like to pick on Miami, when you're looking at 30, 40, 50-year-old condos, right now they've got a little bit of a point.
Yeah.
Your special assessments is hurting the values of these older condos.
Tell me about it.
Special assessments came into our lives because of what happened 4 years ago. InSurf cited a project called Champlain Towers, which you know what happened there.
Yeah.
The state of Florida overreacted, in my opinion, but nevertheless, this is a new law. So those older condos, valuations are suffering. That's true, but the younger stuff is going the other way, and we don't have enough of it. So when people tell me that, I feel like I have to I feel like a real estate professor. For 5 minutes, can I just explain the facts about what's going on here? Because not all of Florida, let alone South Florida, is, from a pricing valuation standpoint, is behaving like that. The young stuff, particularly houses, are flying. It's the older stuff that's dragging things down a little bit.
That's what people are getting confused, I think.
Very confused.
And they're comparing Miami to the rest of the United States, of the world, which is not even comparable.
Again, what turns me on about what you and I do for a living is we get to sell real estate in the second fastest growing state, in the third fastest growing country in the world. The United States, the fastest growing country is India by population. Number 2 is China. And the United States is 3. So you and I are selling real estate in the second fastest growing place, in the third fastest growing country, with this ridiculous, wonderful weather. You don't have a demand problem. There's always, and that's US. What about all the Latin families who are buying either second homes or investment properties? Now, you don't have a demand problem. You have a supply problem.
That's a good problem.
I mean, right now, do I understand the hesitation in the world because of the threat of tariffs and what tariffs might do to inflation and how that has a lot of people temporarily hesitating? I get it. Sure, I read what you read. I watch the news on TV that you watch.
Yep.
But in my opinion, that's this tariff stuff is going to end pretty soon. And when it does, and the stock market recovers back to where it was on Jan 1, then watch what happens with real estate prices. I think the roof comes off.
Yeah, we will see.
Yep.
And definitely we're like before and after COVID, so it's a huge difference, and people need to understand that.
And it's in momentum. Definitely. You can't stop it. I mean, there's just too many companies that have already made the decision to move here. And these are huge decisions. As an example, think about Citadel. Citadel is one of the most successful hedge funds in the world, not just the US. Yeah. They uprooted the entire organization from the root from the root of the building all the way to the roof of the building, and they moved it to Brickell Avenue. I can't imagine what the human resource department of Citadel has gone through to relocate all of those families to South Florida. Now multiply that example times 200.
That's only one, just so
When I tell you we're in momentum, it's happening from northeast, west, and south. The people are coming in from everywhere. Again, it's my belief, just based on the numbers, we don't have enough housing.
Numbers don't lie. We know that.
They don't. And when it comes to younger condos or houses, grab it while you can, because you are coming out of a bit of a slow cycle. Last year when mortgage rates went up and we had that general election, presidential election, it did slow things down. But already we're seeing it's come right back out.
We can see that it's starting to.
People keep coming.
Yeah.
It's. I swear to you, it always boils down to the simple laws of supply and demand. We don't have a lot of supply, but we have huge demand.
Definitely.
Huge.
Well, thank you, Craig, for your time.
That's the recipe for Q2 of 2025.
He said it, and he's the expert, so we know what's going on. Thank you, Craig.
Thank you. My pleasure. Please, my pleasure.
Thank you so much. You could be next.